Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, we are back over at the shop today, and today our goal is to update the Skyline OS operating system on the new 2024 Road Glide. So Harley Davidson just released a new software update about 10 days ago, and it's designed for the new 2024, actually the 2023 and a half CVO Road Glide Street Glide, the 24 Road Glide Street Glide, Road Glide ST, CVO, all of the new style bikes with the Skyline OS operating system. The update is designed to fix some glitches that were in the system and add some new features to the system that didn't exist previously. Now, some of the bug fixes, there were some complaints that people putting their bikes in storage without putting it on a battery tender, they'd see a battery drain issue, which I have not had an issue with my motorcycle. It's even sat in the trailer for like 2 months and not had an issue. There were some issues with the CarPlay working and glitching out, like it would work and then it would disconnect and then reconnect, and I have had issues with that. It hasn't been too troublesome lately, but when I was hooked with the cable and it was also trying to hook Bluetooth both, it was interfering with each other. But since I've gone to using the quad lock for charging, I don't plug the phone into the motorcycle anymore, and then the Bluetooth connects it to the actual operating system, and that seems to be working better. But on this last Sunday's ride, I did have twice, I think, where it exited out unexpectedly and then restarted. Anyway, as you guys know very well, at least about me, I'm decent with a wrench. You put tools in my hand, I can fix just about anything. You give me computers and keyboards, I'm so lost, it's all Chinese to me. But I gotta give some credit where credit is due. I watched a video on YouTube. The channel is called In the Friction Zone, and he went through step by step and explained how to do this update. And he made me feel reasonably comfortable that I could do it myself. Your other option of doing it yourself is to take it to a dealership. Of course, then you got dealership fees because this isn't a warranty thing. They're gonna charge you for a service if you're gonna take it in there to do that. They might throw it in for free if they were doing some other kind of service, possibly. That depends on your dealer, I don't know. But I'm a pretty good DIYer, so I wanted to try it myself. And I had the intention, after watching In the Friction Zone's video, of creating a video, and I was gonna title it, So Easy, Even a Neanderthal Could Do It, kind of like the old Geico commercials.
It's so easy to use Geico.com, a caveman could do it.
What?
Oh, no,
Not cool.
I did not know you were there. I can change.
Well, I was wrong. It wasn't easy. Now, it would have probably been easier for somebody who knows stuff about computers, but like I said, I'm computer inept, and I had a few issues with it. So, after watching his video procedures, I went to harleydavidson.com. I scrolled down to the very bottom of the page, and you can see there where it says software update. So I clicked into that, and it brought me into the menu to show me the updates. Of course, you got to choose your English and what country you're in and all that stuff first. All that went pretty smoothly. Now, in order to do this update, you need to have a USB-C USB drive, but it's got to be USB-C compatible. And I did not have one. Once you're in the system, you can see that there are more than one update. And it's because there are some motorcycles out there that may not have been previously updated. I checked mine, and I had already had the other update, so I didn't need to do the first of the two updates. I only need to do the second update, which is the big one. It's 4 folders and 1 file, and it's like 8, almost 9 gigabytes. And actually, once we downloaded and looked at it, it looks like it almost came out to be 13 or so. Anyway, so I bought my USB, brand new, because I did not have a USB-C, and the instructions specifically say not to use an adapter to go from A to C or B to C, whatever it is. Even though In the Friction Zone said it might work, but try it at your own risk. So after downloading the file to the computer, now keep in mind, I also got to say this, I work with a Mac computer typically. I have a MacBook Pro, and In the Friction Zone stated that it wouldn't work with his Mac device, so he had to go to a Windows device. So I borrowed my wife's Gateway computer and tried it on there. So once I downloaded the actual files to the computer, I then plugged in my brand new USB device and tried to unzip them or export them to the USB drive. At this point, I'm pretty proud of myself. It seems like it's working well. I can see the progress bar going. And then when it got to about 63, 64%, I got this notice that pops up saying that it wouldn't work. So I clicked try it again, did it again. Same thing, it started back over at like 33%. Once it got up to that mid 60s, I got the message once again. I tried it a third time with no avail. So I went in search trying to figure out what was wrong. And here's one of the mistakes that I made. In the Friction Zones video, he specifically said that the USB drive needs to be formatted to exFAT. And I didn't know what mine was formatted to, and I didn't know how to get in there to check. So I just Googled that particular disc that I bought, which is a SanDisk 3-in-1, some Ultra, whatever. And my Google results showed me that it defaulted to exFAT right out of the package, and I shouldn't need to do anything. So started to believe that that was my problem, but I couldn't get it figured out, so I had to call help. I ended up calling my friend Joe. You guys will see him in the comments sometimes as Rider X. He's also on a lot of other YouTube channels as a follower there, and he's kind of my go-to guy when computers mess with me, which I hate to say it, I have to call him more often than I'd like because I'm not good with computers. I think we've made that clear. Anyway, he helped guide me through, and it turns out that it wasn't formatted to the exFAT, it was on a FAT32, and we believe that that was the problem. Also, I was trying to take the download and directly unzip it into the USB drive, and he said that sometimes that can cause problems. So what we did is we exported it to the computer first, and then copied those files to the USB-C drive, and it all looks like it worked well. So now, we're here at the shop, we're gonna follow the steps to plug it into the bike and hope that it works. Now, I do have to say that the website is really good about giving you step-by-step directions, but it's step-by-step directions for somebody who's good with computers. So there was a couple things I just didn't quite understand, and it should be common sense to most people, just not this big dummy. Now, at this point, the instructions say that this process from once we plug this zip drive in to the actual motorcycle could take up to 45 minutes. So they recommend that you put your motorcycle on a charger in order to do so. Now, I've got my Schumacher 8 amp charger here, so we're gonna go ahead and plug into that once we get the system powered up. That way it can maintain power so that we don't kill our battery during the process. Now, with that said, I don't think it's gonna take an actual 45 minutes. That was for doing both updates, and we only need to do the second update. But the first update that we don't need to do was actually a very short update. So this could still take some time. So we're gonna power the bike on, plug in the battery charger, and follow the steps. All right, if you have the new Street Glide, your plug-in is gonna be in that little snack tray that comes out underneath the OS screen. But if you got a Road Glide, it's underneath the right-hand glove box. Okay, so we have plugged the device in, and you can see right there, it's recognizing it. All right, new software version update. Update is available. We're gonna click enter to update it. Let's see what it does. All right, it's turned itself off and starting back up. All right, preparing to install. Do not remove USB. That's a good sign. That means it's working. The Friction Zone mentioned that if it wasn't right, it would tell you that it was unable to continue at that point. Okay, after about 5 or 6 minutes, the system completely shut down and restarted. Now it's asking if I want to continue with the next phase of the update. Click OK, let it do its thing. Okay, now the third prompt has come up. To do the next phase, system update, hit yes. Now there's one more. It's rebooted itself. We're going to click yes, new software version, and update. All right, guys, so that's it. That simple. Everything's all booted back up. I can now remove the USB drive. We don't need it anymore. Now, what I mean by you don't need it anymore is I didn't have this. I went and bought it just for this project. But one of the new features in this update is now going to be over-the-air updates. So the next time there's an update to the Skyline OS system, I simply need to take the bike home where I've got internet, hook it to my Wi-Fi, and it can update itself. I'm sure there's going to be some prompts involved there, but I shouldn't need this again. So with all being said and done, can a Neanderthal do this? Yeah, this Neanderthal had to get a little bit of help. And this part was super easy. Once everything was on here, you saw it. It was simply following the prompts. It only took about 30 minutes of me just standing there staring at it, waiting for the next prompt to push the OK button. Everything else, it did on its own. The challenging part for me was just getting the information onto the thumb drive or the USB drive, whatever you want to call it. That was the hard part for me. But thanks to In the Friction Zone for help guiding me through there. And thanks to Joe, Rider X, for helping me when I got stuck. We were able to get it done. Anyways, guys, I hope this gives you some confidence. If you decide that you want to try to do this, even if you're not really computer smart, you can still get it done. And if you're not comfortable with it, just take it to your dealership and have them do it, or find a friend that can help you with the computer part of it. It's not that hard. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time I see you, Dr. Evil and I say, keep those engines running.
What's that supposed to mean? Did you hear that?
That is really condescending.
Seriously, we apologize. We had no idea you guys were still around.
Yeah, next time maybe do a little research.
Gentlemen, are we ready to order?
I'll have the roast duck with the mango salsa. I don't have much of an appetite, thank you.
How can it be offensive if it's true?
Okay, first of all, I'm not 100% in love with your tone right now.
Tone aside, historically, you guys have struggled to adapt.
Yeah, right. Walking upright, discovering fire, inventing the wheel, laying the foundation for all mankind. You're right. Good point. Sorry we couldn't get that to you sooner.
Connie, your reaction?
Sounds like someone woke up on the wrong side of the rock.